Hey guys, it's Megs and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is a little different. So it's going to be like basically me going crazy for however long this video is. But no, it's going to be an in-depth brow tutorial because as you can see, my brows do not look the same as they do on Instagram. So I'm here to teach all of my secrets and pass them down from one person who loves makeup to another. But all you need for this is your favourite brow product. I personally prefer like a pomade. So I've got the ABH pomade. A little brush for your brows. Actually, you don't really need that, but I prefer using one. And then a brush. So I got this one from, it's the Ico. It's sort of like scratched off now, but it's the Ico's like 3-in-1. And it's like this one pulls out, then there's one in the middle, and then one at the end. But I just like this this brush because it's so like thin. It's like, it's an angled like liner brush, but it's like also very thin. So it's like, I think it's perfect for like imitating like brow strokes, like little hair strokes, because obviously you can tell my eyebrows start way back. Like way back when. I used to get them waxed all the time, so now they start like here when they should start a bit more forward, I'd say. Yeah, because that's where I draw them on Instagram. I don't know why I keep saying on Instagram, but that's where I post mainly. At Megan's Moment, by the way, go and check it out. But I'm gonna get into the video now. So yeah, I have come across this problem sometimes with my pomade, with it drying out. So as you can see, I've loved my pomade so much to the fact that I've had it for about 10 years. No, I'm joking. That would have made me like 7. But no, I haven't had it for like 10 years, but I've had it for a bit. So sometimes it does dry out. So all I like to do, just take a drop of any oil. This is just the bio oil. But you can just take any face and body oil. I also love the one, I think it's the bio oil dupe from Quality Save or Home Bargains or wherever. And it's really good from there. But I'm going to be drawing eyebrows all over my face today because I am here to show you that with these techniques and the right tools that you can just like draw what you want. That's why I use pomade, because you can get a bit more specific with it instead of using a powder, because I think powders can be a bit like everywhere. If you want that defined brow where there's not many like hair strokes in it, then powder's fine, but I still prefer to use pomade just for that specific reason. But I'm just going to go in and I'm going to coat the brush. Now I'm going to do my normal brow first. So sometimes I like to pinch it as well at the top, so you've got that fine line. And the first step, I always brush the brow hairs up so you can get that clear, distinctive line from underneath your brows. And if you hear the door go in a minute, it'll be Hazel coming back. But, oh my gosh. So literally, you are gonna, so I always like to picture it as your brow is lining up with your nose. So if you're struggling, sort of like put your brush on the end of your nose and make a little mark, and then that's where you'll stop. But I just like, oh my gosh, I never usually do that. But that's like what people do to like gauge where to put their brow. But I just literally take the brush and I create that line all the way under the brow. And you're just going to take that right to the end of the brow. So I'd say when you've drawn this first line under your brow, if you can see it going from here all the way to here, then you sort of have like the foundations of your brow. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you'll need concealer. Now, I like to use like pomade concealers as well because they're a bit more thick and like easier to work with. Whereas with some liquids can be a bit too liquidy and you might like ruin your brow, but we'll get to that later. And then I don't go ahead and start like filling it in or doing like the hair strokes or anything. I like to brush the brow hairs completely down. And then I'm just going to create a line on the top as well. So it's just like painting by numbers after that. You just fill between the lines. And then I am just... So, where you gauge this line, you don't do it right from the front because you don't want block brows for when you've concealed them. But what you do want, you need to think about where you want the brow strokes. I mean, you could do the brow strokes first, but then you can't really gauge where to put the brow strokes at the front, if that makes sense. So I like to gauge it from about here, and then you literally just outlining the brow. So now that we have the outline of the brow, we're going to start with the brush strokes, which is, I think, most important for it to look as real as possible. So I've literally got quite a lot of product on there, but not too much because you don't want really dark strokes, as they just won't look real like, at all. So I have got it, and then I have literally pinched. So it's like as... Oh my god, I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just like... And then you can see it's as thin as it can possibly... Blah. I don't know what I'm saying. Someone help a friend here. But, and then what you're going to do is you're going to take the brow brush and you... Right, I'm going to come close for this. I'm going to come up close and... This is a way too close, not close and personal baller. But we are just going to flick the brush up, and as you can see, it's not even in focus. Hello, is it focusing? Oh my god, there we go. So as you can see, I've started to make a few light hair strokes, and then you're just gonna go back in and you're gonna keep fill it, like getting loads of product on the brush, pinching the end of the brush, and literally just flicking it up. And you can, what I also like to do as well, because sometimes when you flick it up, there's not a lot of product towards like the top of the brow. So what I like to do, sometimes I just like to draw some finer ones in from the top as well. And then just keep flicking it up, just to blend them in. So as you can see, it's looking a bit misshapen at the front, but that's where the concealer will come in later. But then I am just going to finish this up, And then we are going to go in and start filling the rest of the eyebrow in, because you need to look you need to gauge how much you're going to fill it in from how dark the front of your like fake brow is. So mine's not actually too dark, so I'm just going to go through and sort of like shade it in like this, nothing like too crazy. You need to make sure that you have a strong tail though, that has to be filled in. So I like to brush through as well, and then it'll help you to see what like sparse parts of the brow, so you can see I'm not filled up here or like nearly enough here. So I'm just gonna go in and fill it in. So I usually do brows after foundationing, contouring and powdering. Because I just think if you do brows before, because I used to do my brows before all the time, I just think it's difficult to work around the brow when like you're trying to put everything else on, if that makes sense. But because my brows before, I used to do them like this, like yeah, people may say now that they're too thick or whatever, but I don't care because I like them like this. But some people may no, I lost my train of thought. So my eyebrows, oh my god, they, like if you see the shape now, how it curves at the top and then goes down like that, that was literally how they were drawn on. And I'm not inserting pictures in because I'm sure most of you watching this have seen my own eyebrows. Or maybe you can just take a stroll through Instagram and you'll probably find it on there. But I'm just looking for a brush, a concealer brush. Because now this is where the magic begins, because the brows don't look too impressive right now. But I'm just taking this concealer. I've got the Wet n Wild Coverall Concealer Palette. Now obviously I'm not using any crazy shades. I'm going to be using the conceal shade here. Well, the cover shade, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to coat both sides of the brush, so that it's also flat, but then you can sort of like flip between sides as well. So I'm coming up close again on my wheelie chair. Right, so then what you're going to do, so you need to think of the concealer as an eraser. So you are literally underlining the brow. I hope you can see what I'm doing. Can you see? Yeah. You are literally getting rid of the mistakes in the brow. And you are just carving it up. And then dragging the concealer down. Because I also like to use concealer as like an eyeshadow base as well. So when I've done my full makeup, I could just usually like brush my eyebrow hairs up. And literally just drag it all down and then set the lid. But then sometimes I don't usually like to set the lid for foundation. So this is where it gets a bit tricky, because I would have usually kept it cleaner on top, because I wouldn't usually overline on the top, because obviously my foundation would be set and everything. But if you want to set the top, then you can. And today I am going to, just so you can see. So I'm not going to go right to the front, because you don't want to like block the hairs off, like the faux hairs that you've created. You just want to Move it down a little bit so it's all like on one level. And then just drag the concealer out again. And that is how you get. And that is how to get, I don't know what to call them, like fake eyebrows, because like 99% of these brows going on here is not real. But I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's just a little bit of fun, just to try and help you do eyebrows, but like, oh my god, just, yeah. I just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Also, hop over to my Instagram, give that a follow, check it out, like some videos. I'm actually doing quite a lot more videos on Instagram, because everyone seems to just like prefer that a lot. But yeah, thanks for the support, guys. I love you lots, and I'll see you in my next video. Oh, and I have started to post twice a week on this channel. You are welcome, so do not forget to subscribe for that extra content and the extra Megan in your week. Okay, love you a lot. See you in my next video.